I held up like 5 cards, and I have like $200 worth of value there. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't consider. If you don't have private placement for that, then you're going to exchange it at your local game store. It's actually not $200 in value. It's valuated at $200, but you're actually going to get like probably like, I don't know, $120 in store credit or $100, right?
Yeah, unless
like,
you sold it
or
yourself
maybe
on,
a
like,
little
eBay
less.
or something.
Well, because they have to make a profit too.
Right.
Trading cards are actually a really good like beginner's lesson in economics. like if you want to learn about economics at the root level, buy a $6 pack of trading cards, see what the value was out of it, see what you could trade it for. Like go through the experiment of seeing how much value you can actually get out of the cards that came in it, right? Because you put a set amount of value. Why are we doing economics right now?
Well, what do you mean we? You're the one talking about your $200 worth of MTG cards and using it as an economic, blaming millennials. You just started this hot and heavy. You're just like, all right, I'm going to go up the rip. Here's my 3-minute rant. My name is Kevin.
Look, I've been playing card games all weekend, right? And
Yeah.
I'm 5-2. So I'm coming in hot off some heavy victories. I actually, here's a funny thing. I'll share this. Here's a little. Do you have a story for me? I have stories.
Go for it.
Okay, cool. So I obviously have been playing Magic the Gathering for like 4 years now since I got back into it. Sometimes playing a lot, sometimes playing a little. It depends on the season of my life that I'm in, right? But I played as a kid, so I had a rudimentary understanding of the game that expanded as I got back into it. I go to events where I'm playing against, like, you know, my homies, my local homies that play the game more than I do. Like, people who play regularly and consistently more than I do. One of them, his name is Andy. And this week, although I did not go completely undefeated, I beat Andy. And that was a victory enough for me. Now, Andy is a very smart, calm, cool, collected guy. He is the exact opposite of me when we are across the table from each other playing cards. I am sitting there, I'm reacting to everything that happens. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. All right, yeah, you got to land? Oh, you're going to play it. Oh, you're going to play that creature? Dude, you could probably play it. You got a 4-drop? I'm talking the whole time. He is, like, very focused, like, laser, like, just like,
up.
And every once in a while, he'll feed into it, right? He's a good sport. He has absolutely trounced me every time I played him, except for this weekend when I beat him. And it was a really funny moment because I really wanted to, like, celebrate and be like, I fucking finally beat you. Like, but also there's the unspoken rule of, like, maybe be humble about it. So I was just like, good game.
That's what Kendrick Lamar
And I was
said.
doing everything I could not to smile after talking for a half an hour at this man while we played cards to each other. And I was just like, and then he disappeared, and I was like, he's pissed. Maybe not. I don't know. But, like, I was like, when I want, because, like, you want to win. Like, you're like, good game. Yeah, you shake. You're a good sportsman. But, like, you want to fucking win.
Of course.
You know? So that's my story this week because I beat him. And then I went and I told Greg, who owns the store that I chat with. And Greg was like, wow, I'm legitimately astonished. And then, like, tried to back it up. He's like, that's not like an insult to you. I'm like, no, you should be. You should be astonished. This was an accomplishment for me. I'm like, I'm the only one who shows up here dressed up in designer anything. Like, everybody else just came here in their most comfy clothes to nerd out and hang. I'm still treating this like the rest of the world. I don't fit here, man. For me to win anything is an accomplishment. I feel good.
Did you wear a tuxedo again?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
Kevin, we talked about
I
this.
sit down like James Bond. But specifically Daniel Craig James Bond, and I order martinis, and they say, we're still not serving those.
And you go, orange juice on the rocks, please.
Yes, 100%. And I sip orange juice, and I just talk at people the whole time while we play cards.
Sounds great.
Do you think, would you be a good James Bond?
Me?
Oh, a better question. If we were in James Bond, who would you be? Who would I be? If we were in the James Bond universe, if you're superimposing our personalities over people or our positions in and around this podcast, I would be James Bond, right?
Yeah, and I'd be Moneypenny.
You'd be Moneypenny. So you'd be like the one who's constantly frustrated.
Yes.
So not much would change.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect fit.
All right, cool. What's my first mission?
Your first mission is to successfully eat guacamole, Doritos, and have coffee.
I pass. I pass. You know what? I resign as a double O agent.
I resign. I'm done. Shoot me off a train.
That was
Let's
a
get
good
outta here.
callback. I like that. You ready to clap?
I am ready to clap.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the UnPop. Did you slap your face?
Yeah, I have to now.
Okay, good. Hold on. I
you
couldn't
not
see
looking
it.
at
Hold
me?
on. I am now. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Wait. Oh.
Oh, come on. Again. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of the UnPop Podcast. My name is Kevin Minor. He, him, todo siempre, your capitan. With me, as always, is
Odie Matthews, the chef, cooking up content. They, he, them.
you sound like an animated firefly. That's what I was getting. I was getting an animated. You had the buzzing content to your voice. That little extra bit of flair to it. This week we are talking about some wonderful news that Odie has organized. We've you saw Predator, right?
That's gonna be my jam.
Did you? Okay, cool. All right, so Ballerina, Predator, the Phoenician Scheme. Predator's called Killer of Killers. Hell yeah. And
It's
then
good.
a whole swath of news that we're just going to get into right now.
And some of it is from when we missed like during May and last week.
Okay,
so
that's
some
fine.
of this is like a little bit older, but we
Odie's
obviously-
going to get into the news. I'm going to finish eating my toast.
Well, why do you choose the crunchiest food for an audio format? Like just audio too. Like you choose the crunchiest stuff every single time.
It's just these 2 weeks. All right.
Just these
news!
2 weeks. I'm
News!
gonna go back through the other 99 episodes.
News!
You shut up.
Yeah, baby. It's the UnPop News coming at you fresh and hot from the command deck of the SS Marlon Brando. Let's see what this week had in store.
Frankenstein trailer.
Franken.
Guillermo
I saw it. I just
del-
saw it right now. I live
Yeah,
reacted it like a YouTuber.
What do you
For you.
What do you think? For one, let me say this: it's supposed to adhere more closely to the actual book story, where Dr. Frankenstein goes on the run and the monster chases after him, which you kind of get a little bit in this trailer.
Yep. A little bit. Okay. I think it looks good. I think it looks like one of the better tellings of Frankenstein. Remember we got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein back in the day? That was the full title, was Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That one was solid. I would say this is like, it falls in the same category as like when we talk about retelling story. Like we got Nosferatu, right? Our generation, like this era, this epoch of American entertainment got Nosferatu. Now we're getting Frankenstein. I feel like once every 20 to 30 years, someone does a full attempt of, hey, we're going to do this, right? Not like a half-hearted, like, I don't know, some Nepo baby had an idea for a script and it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we'll get those, like, peppered in between. So people are like, we're always telling the same story. It's like, not always, and like it's not always. I think this is Guillermo del Toro saying, "Hey, no, I want to do this justice. I see what you did, Robert Eggers, and I'm coming for you. Touche. Here's Frankenstein, and it looks good. We got Oscar Isaac, we got Mia Goth, we've got Christoph Waltz in it. It looks solid. The lighting is very Guillermo del Toro. Like everything's very like it almost feels similar to the Robert Eggers.
It's got that
lighting.
black
It's like
and
blue.
white feel to it a little
Yeah.
bit. And, you know, you mentioned...
Everything's drained.
You mentioned, like, every 20, 30 years we try to do this. And, like, I think the...
Not try to. Somebody just does it. Like,
when
they
I say
just
try,
release a film.
they try to make a good one. And I think most of them are pretty average at best. Because, like, recently we got The Wolfman back in January. And I was very disappointed in that. We did get...
Yeah, who did that again? Who's the director?
Fede Alvarez.
Yes, Fede.
We got The Invisible Man from the same guy, and that one was pretty good. we've got we're getting a new Dracula, we're getting this new Frankenstein, we're still not getting a fucking Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I'm upset about.
Technically, we got Alien rebooted. Technically.
Well, no, yeah, I just mean more like these classic Universal ones. Like we had the Tom Cruise Mummy.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a new Mummy one, and I just think that a lot of them tried to go to, like, if you look at the Tom Cruise mommy movie, if you look at the Tom Cruise mommy movie, it's very like, I don't want to use the word like Marvelified, but that is kind of the best way to describe it. It's very quippy. It's very action. It's not really rooted in what made the Mummy an interesting character for Universal in the first place. And I think that they're trying to lean back into the horror elements of these, which the Wolfman, to its credit, tried to do. I think that is a better route, and I'm hoping these will be better. But let me ask you this about Frankenstein. Are you excited to see this one on the big screen?
Yes.
You can't. It's going to streaming. That's the bad part. It's a Netflix only. It's a Netflix straight
weird.
to streaming in November.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Max, I need you to make up your mind. Do you want to
Whatever.
be in the podcast studio
We have
or do you
large
want to be
TVs.
out of the podcast studio? Hang on.
Come on, Max.
Max can't make
You
up
prince?
his mind. You're sitting
Yeah.
by the door. You're looking at me. Okay, if you hear my door opening and closing,
He just
I'm so
wants
sorry.
you to do something.
I don't know what
All
he wants.
right,
Anyways,
so
but yeah.
here's what I think. Big miss on casting is that I think Oscar Isaac actually could be perfect for like a werewolf movie. Not only
Yeah.
that, like he does a lot of good facial acting. He does some of the more serious like stuff. He can keep his voice a little low.
Maybe
He
a
can
good one for the
growl when he
Mummy.
needs to.
Not as the
I think-
villain, but as like the
I think he would have been great as a werewolf. Like even he gets the mutton chops and stuff. Like his sideburns get real thick. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's got the look for like a werewolf movie. Instead, we get him as Frankenstein. I'm totally fine with it. I think he's gonna do great. I like
yeah.
Oscar Isaac.
I think
I love that Mia Goth is in a big budget horror film. Hell yeah.
you know what I love about Mia Goth?
Hit it.
Is we can segue to the next piece of news. Why am I singing so much?
Do it.
Okay, remember how a while back, like an undisclosed amount of time, we talked about how Mia Goth was going to join that Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling, the Last Starfighter, and she was like,
Yes.
"Nope, pass." Well, guess what? Not
Yes.
only is she joining that Star Wars film, but she's the villain, and I think that's
I like that.
great. Put her
like
against
that.
Ryan Gosling in a Star Wars movie with no Jedi. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Hold on, I'm still chewing my toast.
Oh my gosh, you and
you
your toast.
keep talking for a
Okay.
minute.
Well, we don't have any information about the Star Wars movie except for the fact that it is the guy.
Mia Goth and Ryan Gosling are in
It's
it.
Mia Goth, Ryan Gosling. It's the guy that just did X-Men or Deadpool and Wolverine. I can't think of his name. Sean Levy, and he also it's going to be set post Episode 9. So this will be around the time, it is speculated around the time of Rey's new movie that's supposed to be coming out, which is going to be about like post Episode 9 shenanigans.
Okay.
Do you like my word shenanigans? It's shenanigan
Yep.
and antics put together.
Yep.
Did you
See,
like
I'm
that?
already. I was pumped about the Mia Goth Ryan Gosling news, right? I'm pumped about it, right? I'm genuinely excited. And then you started saying Episode 9. And then you started saying all the episode, and I'm like, here we fucking go. Because that's the thing that ruins a Star Wars film for me, is them trying to weave in all the bullshit into the fucking main Skywalker Jedi plot thing that they can't let it go. They don't let it go. They got
die.
it, and they're like, and you're like Disney.
Stop
Disney,
it.
come here.
Disney.
Sit down, crisscross out. Put the
Put your juice
Jedi
box
plot down. Put it down. No, put it down. Up. They ran away.
Nope.
See, they can't let
the
it go,
shot
man.
collar.
They can't let it go. And
No.
like, I would love it. Like, just fucking drop it for like 30 years. Like, let's not hear a single thing about a Skywalker.
Go back
or
in time.
whatever happened in whatever episodes. I don't know. Go to another corner of the galaxy.
Yeah. And
You
another
have so
time.
much space that you can go to, but we go to like the same 8 planets
Yep.
inevitably.
And they're all desert
you know?
or ice or jungle.
And it's like, how am I supposed to continue believing that this is a galaxy if you're only going to the same 8 fucking planets?
Tatooine, baby.
And like, right? And like, they just keep doing it. And like, that's the one thing where I'm like, Mia Goth, hell yeah. Ryan Gosling, hell yeah. And then you're like, Episode 9. I'm like, don't even fucking try to tie this in.
9. So
Well, and then you've got like the Rey stuff coming in too, where like, yeah, because it's 7, 8, 9, so it's post Episode 9, and then you're like, I hated episode 9 so much that like to even be like it's post episode like that doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't
Because the whole trilogy is garbage. But
yeah.
you speaking of the Skywalker stuff, next bit of news is the fact that Mark Hamill basically said he's done with Disney's Star Wars and he's not coming back anymore, which
that's fine.
Sucks for one reason, and that's because we're now stuck in this time period between 6 and 7 where Luke has already been made to be a prominent figure, and they won't recast him, which means that we're going to get stuck with that weird DA'd CGI rubbery face bullshit for Ahsoka season 2.
Hear me out. Here's what we get. We recast Olden Ironrack as Luke Skywalker.
Try again, baby.
And piss everybody off because he actually could do it.
Yeah.
He's a great actor, and he actually has get fucking Sebastian Stan.
Do it.
Just bring him in, baby. It'll be great. We would love it.
Movie. That's it.
Yeah. Show him hanging out with what was the comic book revealed Yoda's master. What he's like show him hanging out with the weird snake man ghost thing. Like
we know Star Wars.
People don't recognize how weird Star Wars gets. Like the people who like Star Wars that aren't like full on nerds like don't realize the fantasy elements of it. It's like, yeah, there's a weird snake thing. Remember the lady in the beginning of fucking Solo?
Oh yeah.
What was that?
She can't be in the sun and she lives in like a weird
She's like
pit.
a weird centipede thing.
But
yeah,
she
it was
speaks
like
English?
torturing
Weird.
kids on a giant spaceship building planet.
Making
like,
them steal for her? What the fuck's up with that?
This shit's weird. That's some David Bowie labyrinth shit, man.
Oh, you know what?
What?
Speaking of
David Bowie.
Labyrinth
shit.
I'm glad you're giving me segues to the other pieces of news. And I feel like these are perfect transition points.
Was this actually news this week?
Well, let's talk about Stranger Things, which is like David Bowie's Labyrinth.
Oh, yeah, it's like David Bowie's Labyrinth, but fleshy and gooey and wet
upside
and
down.
gross. And yeah, and you can't go to sleep or you have to listen to that song about running up that hill.
3 years later, we're still singing it.
We've lost all our listeners just because of that part right there. Everyone's like, no, I draw the line at the bad singing.
How invested in the last 9 years have you been with Stranger Things? Because I'd like to remind everybody that Stranger Things season 1 debuted in 2016.
Okay, so every time a season's out, I watch it for sure.
Same.
And I'm in, and I love it. And I actually. Even, what was it, like season 3 part 1 or whatever the fuck, right? Like season 4 part 1 or like remember it was broken up or however. Even the stupid Russia side plot that they did where like
I liked that.
I was like
stupid.
I'm in. Whatever. Yeah, tie it together, man. Who fucking cares? They did a good job. I liked it. I like it every time it comes out. I can't believe that they
took this long.
Didn't rush this more to like get everybody to film before they were all like 30.
So before I tell everybody the news and the release schedule, I just want to like somebody had pointed out we got Andor season 1 and season 2. We got The Bear seasons 2, 3, and 4. We got so much.
Oh, the Weekly Planet was talking about this.
Oh yeah, that's where I heard it. Okay, now that explains why it's so fresh in my brain. But it is kind of crazy how many shows not only have come and gone, but like have wrapped up too. Like before we got season 5 of Stranger Things, like which at one point was the biggest show, and
I think we got both seasons of House of the Dragon too.
I think
so.
So, for the release schedule of Stranger Things season 5, tell me what you think about this.
I fucking hate it.
Okay,
I already
the
hate
first
it. Like
4 episodes release on November 26th. Then 2 episodes on Christmas Day, and the finale on New Year's Eve. And I think the finale is like 2 hours long.
I don't want
each episode's
to
like a mini movie. Apparently,
Netflix, you have predicted this incorrectly. I do not want to be watching Stranger Things on Thanksgiving.
New Year's Eve.
I do not want to be watching Stranger Things on Christmas.
No.
I do not want to be watching Stranger Things on New Year's fucking Eve.
No.
Get out of here.
So
why would I be doing that?
You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to wait until after New Year's Eve and just watch all of it.
I will begrudgingly watch them the week they come out.
Ooh.
Because
I might.
I'm just whatever. I mean, at least they broke them up, but I don't like how they're broken up.
It doesn't
like,
make sense.
You could have. It's fucking Stranger Things, and it's creepy, and it's weird, and it's got like some dark and gory elements to it. You could have done one episode every week leading up to fucking Halloween, dude. Like,
yeah.
Why? Like, I feel like marketing departments are just full of people that are like, I don't know, let's fucking figure it. Like, hey, wouldn't this be fun? Let's see if this works. Like, no, like, just do the thing that makes more sense.
I don't understand these weird release schedules we've been getting with TV shows where, like, Daredevil was like, first 2 episodes, here they are, here's 2 more episodes, here's 2 again at the same time. Andor did 3 at a time. Like, I do miss week to week, but depending on how long the episodes and how many episodes are in a season, dropping them all at once isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I feel like the marketing departments for these streaming services are comprised of people who have personalities akin to, like, Nardwar, Zach Galifianakis from Between Two Ferns, the chick from Chicken Shop Interview, like Chicken Shop Date.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like it's those people. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like, well, what if we did this? And
What
then
if
they
we're
do
quirky?
it, and you're like, fuck!
Stop being
like,
quirky.
Yeah, stop messing with me. All right, what do you got next?
Alien Earth. Did you watch this trailer?
Yeah, speaking of David Bowie Labyrinth.
Yeah, speaking of David Bowie Labyrinth and Upside Down.
No, I did watch a trailer for Alien Earth. The main characters are synths?
So the story here is
Right?
The main character is a girl who was terminally ill in, I think it's the year 2145, and she is the first human to be uploaded into a fully synthetic, like, android body.
I already don't believe it. You know it's going to be Bezos. All right, keep going.
But I mean, honestly, I don't want to say too much because this trailer I feel like doesn't give a lot away, and it's the last thing I'm going to watch about the show before it comes out. But it appears a ship that was collecting specimens from across the universe. Love that, for one. Just absolutely love a weird ship going around collecting scary shit. Crashes on Earth. What does it have on board? Predators. I mean, xenomorphs.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's on Earth, and these
No, that's it,
synthetics
yeah.
are going after it.
It crashes, they go in, they release something, fucking facehuggers come out, they kill that really weird, eclectic, cool kid from fucking Andor.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who wrote essentially the Rebel Manifesto gets facehugged immediately.
Yep.
No, I loved everything about the trailer. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm totally in. I enjoy seeing what is happening here. And I like that they didn't show a ton of alien stuff. Here's what I like. I like that we didn't see, like, a stampede of xenomorphs. You know,
Oh, God, that would be awful.
Because you know there was the potential for this to be that kind of bad,
Well,
right?
100%.
So that's a huge thing. Like, we didn't get that. 2, it seems like they're really keeping it consolidated, and it seems like Earth is already a shitty place anyway. When it crashes. 3, you know we're gonna get a flashback episode where it's on the ship collecting specimens. Who is the quirky scientist who has gone around the galaxy collecting specimens? Who plays that scientist?
Charlie Day.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That would be the gang collects aliens.
The
Like,
gang
come on.
collects
That would be
That's
a sick
their
episode.
punishment.
They crash because of fucking Dennis or Mac. You know, like, that's how that would go. Oh my God. No, that would be perfect. I was going to say we should definitely leave some room for fucking Timothy Chalamet to come in and just be a quirky scientist aboard a ship.
He could do that. He could,
I think he would.
he could
I think he
totally
would
do
do
that.
well. I have something that I want to talk about real quick because it's not part of your news, but I did see a trailer for it when I was in the theater. What's this new Austin Butler movie coming out with that? Did you see this trailer when you were in the theaters? Caught Stealing. Have you seen this?
No, I skipped
with fucking Matt Smith.
No, I skipped the trailers.
Okay, hold on.
I show up late.
First
Let me
off-
look this up. What is it called?
First off, 1, do you like Austin Butler?
No, but I like Matt Smith.
Okay.
I'm indifferent to Austin Butler, I should say.
2, can I convince you to like Austin Butler?
Well, okay, I'm indifferent. I haven't really seen him in enough.
Okay, you have to watch the trailer for this. You know what? I will
Caught Stealing.
edit this out. I will edit this part of the podcast
Zoe
so you
Kravitz,
can watch this
Vincent
trailer.
D'Onofrio, Liev Schreiber, Matt Smith, Regina King. What the fuck is this movie? Darren
Watch
Aronofsky?
the trailer.
What is this? Okay. Yeah. Austin Butler.
Yeah, what do you think about that fucking trailer?
He looks good in that. I think
Thank
his
you.
whole Elvis,
the
Elvis thing and the Bike Riders movie made me indifferent to him. But this could bring me back.
I think he said yes to a couple really big films that were just looking to cast a handsome guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like him in Dune.
Like I didn't even watch the Elvis movie because I'm like, fucking, like there's so much like culturally nuanced, misinformed like mythology around Elvis at this point that I just don't care. Like, well, and not only that, like it's just like like everything about the whole Elvis, like Elvis to me is like an extension of the cultural mythos that we keep telling people about America having already been great. You know, like he exists in a time where like black people still couldn't vote, and like there was like civil rights had barely even happened. You couldn't be gay and also live a life. You know, like like Elvis existed in a time that like we're still learning to correct from. So like, and not only that, there's a bunch of bullshit around his like myth, like because and you know why? Because fucking white people needed a rock and roll hero. I'm just like that's and so like so I skipped that movie.
Rock and roll.
So I didn't. Also, Tom Hanks was in it. I don't like Tom Hanks.
I don't like Tom Hanks.
Yeah, and then the biker movie I skipped. I skipped the biker movie.
Good one.
Because I was like, I don't want to see Tom Hardy be bad. And then I watched 10 minutes of fucking Havoc and he was bad.
Yeah, and also in the Bike Riders movie, Tom Hardy's not even in it that much.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but like so I haven't seen him in anything really bad. I've only seen him as Fade Rotha in fucking Dune.
And he's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Those are the two I know him from.
Oh, and I saw I saw him in Once Upon a Time. And he was good.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, like,
it's 2 for 2.
I like Austin Butler.
2
yeah.
2 out of 4.
And like I saw this and like I was like, is that fucking Matt Smith with a mohawk?
Yeah, this looks good. That looks real good. I'm excited for that.
Thank you. Caught Stealing, I'm definitely excited for.
Yeah.
Here's the people I'm the most excited for in that cast that you might not like have recognized or like really seen in the fucking theater or in the trailer, unless you're looking for him. Bad Bunny as fucking Colorado, right? Griffin Dunn as Paul, and fucking Action Bronson.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I saw him in the
fucking
cast.
Action Bronson. I love Action. Okay, on with your news segment. I wanted you to be hyped about this film. It looks good.
No, I am hyped. I'm gonna put it on my list of every weekend movies to go and see. And you know what you should get hyped for because everybody's excited. Did you know there's a new James Bond? It's been announced.
Is it me?
No, it's not.
Is it me showing up in a tuxedo drinking orange juice at a local card store?
No, you're drinking guacamole, coffee, and chips.
No!
You're stuck.
That is... Don't...
Blended, not stirred.
I can't wait for that segment to die because I'm never doing that again.
But yeah, nobody is talking about the fact that they cast a new James Bond. Can you take a guess who it is?
Austin Butler.
Yeah, no. It's got to be a British guy.
Oh, it has to be?
Yeah, James Bond's always British.
I know, I'm just fucking around.
It's not Austin Powers.
Ray Fiennes.
Wrong. His name is Patty Gibson because he's coming out in a video game. I tricked you. There's a James Bond video game origin story.
Oh, yeah, First
Light, 007 First Light. PlayStation exclusive.
It looks very GoldenEye-ish.
Yes. I only bring it up for 2 reasons. One, it looks very GoldenEye, and I have a PlayStation, so I probably will get this because it looks fun. And 2, I fell for this clickbait when I saw new James Bond actor announced, and I was like, what? How did I not hear about this? And I was like, oh, these sons of bitches.
New James Bond mocap actor announced.
Right? Mocap and voice.
You forgot to write mocap. Like, all the comments are just like, you forgot to write mocap.
Yeah, he looks like Uncharted. The guy from Uncharted, Nathan Drake.
Oh, he kind of does.
Yeah, they all kind of vaguely look like that now.
Well, that's like the action hero, like that's like the action game type. I wouldn't be surprised if they included some Uncharted style like cinematic mechanics into this. You know, where like it's like press circle at the right time and you do, and then like things are just happening. Yeah.
Speaking of quick time events,
what else you got?
My last piece of news.
Oh wow, good segue.
Thank you.
Speaking of button time events. Is your last bit of news about sewing?
No, it's about the world of John Wick, which will then lead me into talking about Ballerina. But the director
Wow.
of John Wick, Chad Stahelski, if I think I'm saying his name right,
Yep.
he did John Wicks 1 through 4. He had a hand. He didn't direct, but he had a hand in the Ballerina movie. There is another spinoff in the John Wick universe about Donnie Yen's character from John Wick 4, and there's also a prequel series called The Continental about it's like about the guy who runs the Continental.
It's all expanded
Never saw it.
universes. That's all we got. Remember there was the big fucking meeting at the end of 2021 and
Yeah.
all the
Everyone was
big
like, multiverse.
executives came out and they were like, we're going to do expanded universes only. That's all we're doing. All right.
So the director has doubts, even though it was announced that John Wick 5 was in the works and Keanu Reeves was set to return. He has doubts it'll ever happen. And I think Ballerina, because these kind of all go together, I think Ballerina might have opened that door back up for John Wick 5. But
Yeah.
I think personally this universe and this trope really needs to die. It needs to go away. I
Okay,
think it's
why?
overstayed its welcome. And here's my reason. I think John Wick 1 was awesome for when it came out because it was it was kind of like The Raid, where it was a modern action film where it was nonstop action. It was pretty well choreographed, and it was a pretty simple story. And what kept you engaged was all the different creative waves that the super assassin got out of these, harsh predicaments. And it's the backdrop to the John Wick universe is this insane network of hotels and assassins and clans and groups that somehow all exist and operate normally in New York City, even though everybody seems to be a fucking hitman. And I think why the first 3 movies especially work really well is because they're all being told, back to back. As the first one ends is when the second one is picking up, and when they're all, a coherent and straight timeline of movies. And Ballerina, and just full spoilers for Ballerina.
Odie Matthews at the movies.
Yeah. Wait. No. Hold on.
Well, my review
Finish
of
your point,
Ballerina
and
is
then we'll get
tied
into it.
to my thoughts on the John Wick universe. So,
All right, so we'll come back to that, but I want to do Ballerina with no spoilers first. I want to do a quick review.
okay,
hey,
here's the no spoilers of Ballerina. Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
That's the movie.
Oh, okay. So Ana de Armas, she's in the hotel. Some shit
No,
goes
she's
down.
an orphan. Her dad was killed by
She
the
gets adopted.
organization. She's brought in and trained underneath the Russian lady that we see in the John Wick movies. She finds
Okay.
out who killed her dad. She's not supposed to kill him because it's against the rules, but she does anyway. And John Wick chases her for a bit until she wins.
The boogeyman chases her.
Mhm.
John Wick. He's the boogeyman.
It is so painfully spoiled in the trailer and so painfully generic as a plot that I think because again, I think the John Wick movies and this one too rely on the creative action. And I will give Ballerina credit. There's a couple good action bits, one of which is spoiled in the trailer. It's a flamethrower, and I think that shouldn't have been spoiled because it's the best part of the movie.
Okay.
But I think with John Wick, and I'll come back to Ballerina, so let me just kind of finish my thoughts on the John Wick universe without Ballerina.
I also have thoughts on John Wick.
Cool. Perfect, because
I'd like to share them.
I think that the thing with John Wick is that adrenaline action thing can only be done so many ways, and that formula, especially in Ballerina, feels very stale. I don't want to watch another movie of 2 hours of Keanu Reeves mumbling his lines, just beating people up with an invincible suit falling downstairs. It was cool. It was cool for a while, but we've gotten too many movies that have copied this with Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. And, even Havoc with Tom Hardy is kind of that.
At least 3 Jason Statham
At
films.
least 3 that have copied it for sure. I'll
Yep.
say that 100%. And I just think,
Thank you.
I think that Ballerina didn't add enough substance to the John Wick world because it's just another John Wick.
Yeah.
But it's a girl this time. And that's cool. And don't get me wrong, I think it's really clever the way they try to make it seem like this group of women assassins is good at their job, but this movie doesn't do them a very good service of letting them be good at their job because spoiler alert, Ana de Armas' character Eve, she's bad at her job we see her she loses more fights than she wins, or she just, like, it really felt like she was just relying on luck. Where John Wick is like an unstoppable killing machine who doesn't fail. She was too far on the other end where she's constantly.
She was dieharding it.
Yeah, okay, so let me say this. This is my one thought about Ballerina, and then we'll kick off talking about John Wick. In the training montage, the leader is like, you gotta fight like a girl, and so she kicks this guy in the nuts twice, claps him in the ears, and takes advantage of the fact that he has gonads, right? And I was like, this is awesome, like, that's clever. She never does that again to anybody she's fighting ever the entire movie. They make a big deal about fighting like a girl, which I think was cool, and they showed it really well, but then they don't implement that in any of the action scenes.
Okay, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
So from my perspective, John Wick came out. I was super hyped. I actually saw John Wick literally like the preview night, like before opening night with a whole group of friends. I got everybody hyped on it. I was like, guys, we're going to go see this film. It's going to be all action. It's nothing but Keanu Reeves is just shooting people up because they killed his fucking dog. And my friends were like, and here's the crazy, when John Wick came out, and this must have been like 2014, 2015, right? Around that time.
2016, but let me check.
Yeah, whenever, but when John Wick came out around that time, there wasn't
2014. You were right.
Yeah, there wasn't anything else around that genre that was happening like that.
No.
Which made it original. We had other things like that, including Jason Statham's movie, The Mechanic. Right? The Mechanic's very similar to John Wick. It's like, I'm going to take revenge on all these fucking people. They don't know that, and people are like, oh, he's got fucking skills, man. Look out. Like, these films had been happening. Liam Neeson's Taken. Those had happened, but they were already behind us, right? So we had some of these, but there was a lull. And Keanu Reeves came in doing a role that we hadn't seen him really do since, like, The Matrix, because really, what's John Wick but, like, fucking real-world Neo?
Well, it's the stunt guys from Matrix.
He's real-world Neo. So, like, when we got John Wick, it was crazy, crazy good. Then John Wick 2 comes out. Also fun. Cool. Great. We love it. Like, John Wick 3, I'm like, well, and then in between, we got Keanu, which I think actually served to hype up the John Wick universe because it brought in a whole bunch of people that like comedy and then like can appreciate the style that went into it and then went and watched John Wick as well, right? So we got that. And then John Wick 3 comes out. It's starting to get a little beleaguered.
I thought 3 was the peak. For me, 3 was like, this is where I was like, okay, this is a great place to end the series. 2 was a little bit of a letdown. 3, we're back. Let's wrap this up. We're in a good spot now.
But instead, they were like, no, we've just opened the door.
No, we're going to do 4. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, so, and 4 had a couple good moments, right? 4 had some good moments, some great action.
Yeah.
The action is never,
4 has the top-down Dragon's Breath shotgun video game scene. That's incredible.
So at the end of the day, we've got these really good action movies, and that's all they are, right? Like, they're roller coasters, right? Like, movies can be roller coasters. You get on, you watch it, you have a good time, you get off, right? It's not like nobody's watching John Wick and going, well, you see the social commentary here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
actually, the Continental represents the struggles of the poverty. It's like, no.
That's not what it's there for. We're there to watch Keanu Reeves shoot people up.
Through the eye.
And so with Ballerina being in the same vein as all of these movies, because that's what this universe is about, right? Mm-hmm. Would you say that Ballerina at least accomplishes being an action-packed roller coaster ride John Wick style movie?
Yeah, totally. So
okay, cool.
To dive a little bit more into Ballerina,
let's get into it
real quick, because again, I have more to say about.
No, you can go full spoilers now. Do you want me to do spoilers?
Full spoilers.
Okay. Spoilers for Ballerina. Here.
First off, I don't like saying this, but I think it's important. Ana de Armas is either miscast in this, or she might not be the best actress. And I've only seen her in a few things outside of Knives Out, because in Knives Out, she's great. And I think that for that role, she really shines. But then I think of her role in Blade Runner 2049. I think of the movie Ghosted, which shouldn't even exist. I think of her role.
She was great in 2049.
I think of her role in The Gray Man, and I think of her in this, and she's just not.
The Gray Man's bad.
That good. Like everything post Knives Out and 2049, she hasn't really been that great in. And
okay,
in this, and maybe maybe it's just me, but I felt like she kind of had the same acting as Gal Gadot when she's like, Kal-El, no, that really famous clip.
Oh no, yeah.
I kind of felt like there were some moments where she's yelling at people, and I'm like, I don't buy this. And
You don't think she's committing enough?
I think she's great at the action stunts. I actually think there's
Okay,
only one.
good.
There's only one moment where you can really tell it's not her, and it's during the flamethrower bit. She is using a water hose to put like against the flamethrower, which is in the trailer, and I think they spoiled that. But like clearly from the back, you can tell it's not her. Like it's clearly a stunt person. But
yeah.
outside of that, it looks like she did a lot of her own stunts. I think
That's good.
that
She Jackie Chan'd it.
yeah, I think where this movie falls flat is again the story, because with the John Wick movies, the story has never really been that flushed out because it didn't need to be. This is a guy trying to leave a secret organization. The less you know about the secret organization, the better, because it leaves less room for, errors and continuity problems and people being like, well, how does this work if this works? Because who cares? You've got Lawrence Fishburne and all his pigeons with his weird homeless people that fight people. You've got a group of assassins in the mountain where the whole town, even the babies, have guns, which is in Ballerina. And you've got, all the other weird shit in the John Wick universe. And I think
It's weird shit, for sure.
And in this one, there's a big emphasis where Ana de Armas' character, Eve, is the daughter of a guy who was a part of a secret clan that killed for fun and money, and he married, like, another clan daughter, and because they had a kid, and he wanted the kid to have a normal life, he took her away, so they killed the wife, and they killed him, and then she gets taken away to a different clan to be raised as a ballerina, so she ends up having the same life that he didn't want her to have anyways, but then at the end, it turns out she has a sister, but then literally, the next scene after you find out she has a sister, the sister gets blown up, so it doesn't even matter, because there's nothing fleshed out there, and, like, it's just her trying to get revenge for her dad, and that's fine, because that's all John Wick is. It's revenge for someone killing his dog, because it's the dog that his dead wife gave him. And I think that that's a fine thing, but this one tries too hard to weave it into this existing world of assassins and hotels and stuff, and, like, you saw the trailer for this, right?
Yeah.
So you know that Norman Reedus is in this.
Yeah.
For 2 scenes. He is third highest on the billing. And I read an interview with the director, and he was like, well, he's not in it that much because we have plans for that character. Stop doing that. Stop putting these characters in, because that's what happened with Ana de Armas. She was in, it's either 3 or 4, and she briefly sees John Wick. That exact scene is in this movie. And I'm like, stop setting up these side characters that aren't interesting enough to carry their own movie. Because Norman Reedus' character is exactly the same as Eve. He is a dad who escaped a clan and has a daughter, and that clan wants the daughter back, so they're trying to kill him. It's literally her dad's story again.
Do you think that, like, action movie directors who are expanding their universe just have, like, that impetus in them? They're like, and then,
they're gonna love this.
And then,
yeah. I think so.
The funniest thing to me about, like, just this realm and this franchise is I can imagine a really awesome spinoff where it's just like this completely, like, overwhelmed, overtired, and exasperated hotel employee who's just like, he works for the hotel, right?
God,
like he's just
like room service.
And he's like, could you all stop with the revenge for like 2 seconds?
Just please.
Everyone has killed someone's relative
Who
here.
ordered the
yes?
salmon?
Right? Like, yeah.
I just need to deliver the salmon.
I'm just like, and it could be like, you could call it concierge, and it's like his first fucking day, and they're like, by the way, everyone here is gonna shoot each other,
and they
just so you know. Like, you could do it like Scary Movie style, even, like just like complete spoof, Naked Gun style, even,
Dude,
that would be great.
You know who would make an actual good spinoff for this series? And I know I just complained
Zach
about
Galifianakis.
There's one character in the John Wick movies that I think would have actually made for an interesting spinoff. Or 2 characters, actually. One,
Will Ferrell from
Lance
the deleted
Riddick's
scene.
character would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I would have.
Would have been. R.I.P.
I would have loved to have just seen him carry a movie about that character. Like,
I would have loved to see where he was going in general. Like, he was getting more and more jobs all the time.
Right?
I love Lance Riddick.
It's so sad. But there's a character in John Wick 4. It's a guy
Yeah.
called the Tracker, I think is his name. It doesn't have an official name, and he has
Okay.
a dog with him.
Yep.
That guy, I would love to see a spinoff about that guy, mainly because he has a dog.
Tracker. Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
overall,
call it the Tracker. That'd be
the
fine.
Tracker from the series.
Dudes would
yeah.
love that movie.
And
just
also-
a guy and his dog fucking taking people down. Hell yeah.
Having to title these from the world of John Wick: Ballerina. That's
Yeah.
that's
well,
where you
that's
fucked
to
up.
bring in the crowd,
But
man.
see,
I mean,
that's where you
I
know
get
you're
it.
wrong. If you have to put the name of John Wick in the title of a movie that's not about John Wick, you fucked up.
I think they should have done it in reverse. It should have been Ballerina, a John Wick story, right?
Exactly.
Or like a JW universe, whatever.
Because
I don't
you know. What
yeah,
sucks about
different
the John
than
Wick
this.
thing
Yeah,
in this movie.
because you put John Wick in the fucking title.
Well,
And he's
John
not
Wick
in it that
this
much.
movie. So his whole role is he meets her briefly, and they have like a quick conversation about getting out because it's all about getting out, and then he is sent to stop her when she's going on her rampage in this village,
Yeah.
because she goes to this village in the mountains, and everybody there, including the kids, are all part of this secret clan, and the leader of the secret clan is the guy that killed her dad. So John Wick is sent to stop
course.
her because obviously, clans can't fight, blah blah blah, bullshit. Who
You
cares?
can't fight the clans. We're
Which
all
it's
assassins.
never really
that-
said. It's always
Our whole job is killing people, but we can't kill each other.
well. That's the thing that's funny about that. It's never said why they can't fight. It's just they always are just like we don't want to mess with them, and they don't want to mess with us. But John
Yeah.
Wick is sent to fight her, and
Yeah.
this guy John Wick, who we've seen kill everybody, nobody
Everybody,
survives.
not,
Everybody
not just lots of people.
Everybody. decides not to kill her. And instead, in the middle of the fight, he keeps trying to be like, just leave, just walk away. And she's like, I have to do this. And then in the middle of the fight, he's like, all right, fine, you can do it. I won't stop you. Actually,
Oh yeah.
I'm going to help you, and I'm going to kill some of these people for you. And then there's a moment where John Wick gets his action scene, and I texted you this in the theater as it happened. There's these two characters, and John Wick is killing all these people in the background, and this guy's like,
Yeah.
this is insane. That's John Wick. We can't do this. And the other character's like, he's just one guy. How bad can it be? And then they both immediately die.
Immediately
and I was
die,
like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, it's dumb.
That's
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I think okay. So
it
here's,
ends with a
here's what
bounty
happened.
on her head, if that
When,
helps.
of course, because dun 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 sequel. Ballerina 2, Folie à Deux.
We're twirling
Anyway,
a do.
yeah. So, I think the issue with universes like this and with like action movies like this is what you really need. Going back to what I was saying about the Elvis mythos, right? You need to build up the myth via a couple movies where we see. Have a lot of stuff kind of left there where it's like, oh, well, like remember in this movie they said he did blank, 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 blank. Leave that. Leave it in the ether. Let the people who really love the character believe it 100%. Let other people go, well, maybe that was incorrect. Who knows? Like, leave that for the fans to debate and enjoy. You don't have to expand every fucking universe and give us every scene of the person's
Exactly.
life ever. Because you know what happens? Eventually, you're going to have a movie that's called John Wick Eats Cereal. And it's just going to be him sitting down, eating a fucking bowl of, I don't know, pick a cereal.
Cheerios.
I was going to say Cracklin' Oat Bran, but whatever.
Cornflakes.
Cornflake. It's just John Wick eating cornflakes. One guy comes in, he shoots him with a revolver because he knew he was coming. That's the end of the fucking movie. Because, they have lives. They have to live normal lives.
That's my question about
you
this
know,
universe. Like the guy who runs the gun shop, does he get business from normal people, or are those gold coins his payment? Does he go down to the grocery store and give him a gold coin from the Continental and get his groceries? What is this?
Like some guys down at the grocery store, he's like, I told you I can't take these. I told you.
I don't know.
I don't know why you keep bringing these down here. I can't take these.
What is this? Is this chocolate?
So, okay. So, all right. Garbage, fun, bad, good, or great. Garbage, bad, fun, good, or great.
I would have to put it in fun because it's not
good.
It's not garbage. I mean,
Okay.
Lance Reddick is in it. You've got Ian McShane is in it.
Yep.
John Wick shows up. So
Okay. So I think Ana de Armas is in the same realm that Austin Butler's in, right? Like she's been
Miscast.
I think she was really good in 2049. She was really good in Knives Out.
Yeah.
And she's two different characters in those. And I'm going to say in Ballerina, she plays a character who at least motivationally and in her general expressions is probably different than Knives Out in 2049. So that's good, right? We've got a little bit of dynamic flow to the characters that she's playing, a little bit of difference. I think her acting and where you were talking about her and like the Gal Gadot comparison, as soon as you said that, the thing that I thought of was that her acting choices might be too subtle to fit the character who we want to believe is in this universe. You know what I mean?
I think you're right. Because I don't think she's a bad actress. I don't. And if it came across that way, let me clarify. In Ghosted,
do
Gray
me a favor.
Man,
Say, I don't think, and then say, Ana de Armas is the worst actress ever.
No,
but say it like that with a
weird
pause in
soundbite.
between.
You don't think? no. Into some weird soundbite.
All right. Finish your point. Sorry.
But I think she could do action. I think this movie proves she can do action. The character just needs to better fit her acting strengths.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, and not only that, I mean, these are all really big films. We haven't seen her do like a ton of crazy. Like I'm interested to see what we're seeing Ana de Armas in like 5 years. You know, like I'm interested.
Those other two are straight streaming. One was an Apple
Gray
TV
Man's bad,
and one was a Netflix, and those aren't
Gray
real
Man
movies.
is bad.
You know, who else
it's
is in
not
this, though?
good. What?
Angelica Huston, who is a big-time collaborator with Wes Anderson.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, okay,
She's
you're
in
still
the
on the
World
second
Te-
movie.
The World
You know what?
Tenenbaums and the Life
Hold on.
Aquatic and.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm getting claps.
Doing all the segues,
I'm doing
baby.
some of the
You're doing it,
segues.
baby. Yeah,
Now,
good for you.
will I fly
Wow,
too
you're
close
really
to the
committed.
sun, and will I die like the guy who invented Segway, and will I Segway myself off a cliff? Who knows?
Who's the real captain here, huh?
Me?
Right?
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
Who invented the Segway? Dean Kahneman?
He died on a Segway.
Dean?
He drove off a cliff.
Yeah, Dean something. Anyway, Dean
Kane.
Kahneman. Anyway.
Either
All right,
way.
Yep.
The
Keep
Phoenician Scheme.
We both saw this.
Now, let me say this.
I saw it first.
You did for once. I
It
saw.
doesn't matter.
I saw this, and then I
I'm
saw
a
Ballerina
5-year-old
right
today.
after.
Yeah.
And-
Look at my magic cards. I saw this first.
Let me tell you, seeing this and then seeing Ballerina is probably what made me not like Ballerina.
You did the wrong order.
I did the wrong order, guys. Now Wes Anderson is probably my second or third favorite director. There's only one movie of his I haven't seen, and I was gonna try to see it before this, and I just haven't gotten to it, and it's Rushmore. Just haven't gotten to that one.
Oh,
yet.
you haven't seen Rushmore?
No, it's on my list. I need to.
Oh my god.
I know. But Wes Anderson is one of my favorite directors. I love his style.
Okay.
I love his
Yeah.
writing. What was this one about, Kevin?
So to summarize this movie with no spoilers,
I feel like you
there's
could do a
this
better
guy.
summary than me.
There's this guy, and his name is Jaja. And
Benicio del
Jaja,
Toro.
I forget. Yep, is played by Benicio del Toro. And boy, do people want to kill this guy because he is an industrial tycoon. But it's not. He's very much he's John Wick with a wallet, right? He's and so. And he realizes that all these
1950.
people want to kill him, and he's like, you know how I can stop all these people from killing me? Instead of giving anything to all my orphan sons, I'm going to bring in my daughter who's a nun. And I'm going to show her the ropes, and she's not going to want to be a nun anymore. Not only that, she can't be a nun, and that's going to be part of the deal for her to inherit my insane fortune because I'm the richest man in the world in, I guess, circa like 1940s, 50s. Yeah. I'm the biggest tycoon, and I'm the man. And then there's another group of people, and they're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fucking drive up the price of bolts, and that guy's going to be fucked.
Well, that's the government.
And then... I'm doing it with no spoilers. So they're like, he's going to be fucked because we're going to drive up the price of bolts. And then he's like, all right, well, there's only one way to go around this. We got to make sure that we cover this weird thing called the gap. And so then they go around and their whole MacGuffin is to cover the gap. And boy, are they not absolutely perfect at it. And there's a whole cast of zany characters that they meet along the way.
Of Wes Anderson
and then
regulars.
eventually, everything's all honky-dory for Michael Cera and Benicio del Toro and his nun girl, played by Mia Threppleton,
Yeah.
who we learned is Kate Winslet's daughter.
But doesn't want to be associated as a nepo baby, making her own
So
way.
so if we say that again, we'll have to beep it out. She's Kate Winslet's daughter. But yeah. So and then They have to go and they have to solve that problem,
Michael Cera's
and he
there.
also has a brother who may or may not have killed his wife and is also possibly the dad of his daughter. Like you pretty much gather that from the beginning. You're like, wait, something weird is here.
That's
and
in a couple Wes Anderson movies too, by the way. Because
Yeah.
the Life Aquatic one too, where it's like,
Yeah.
are you the father? That's also
Oh,
an
Steve
Asteroid
Zissou, yeah.
City bit. Like it's
Yep.
in a few of his movies, which is kind of funny.
Wes Anderson has a funny relationship with parentage.
I want to talk some more about some Wes Anderson tropes in a second, but my first question for
okay.
you about this
Yeah.
movie: had you
Garbage,
seen,
bad fun, good or great.
Had you seen any trailers or anything about this movie? Did you know anything about it? Did you look up the plot before you went in?
I had seen a teaser trailer. That's it.
Did you
and
look,
a poster.
Did you look up the
I'd
plot
seen
or
a-
anything?
No, I had seen a teaser trailer and a poster.
So
I don't need to see anything else. Like when you say
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson,
Yeah.
I can just show up and go. Even if I don't like this, I'm not gonna hate it.
So I dropped the ball. I didn't even know this movie was coming out. I saw a post about a news article that was like Phoenician Scheme with Benicio del Toro from Wes Anderson debuts this weekend to a such and such score, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna go see that. No trailer, no info, nothing. I had no idea what this movie was gonna be about.
It's wild.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So I thought it was absolutely great. Garbage, bad fun, good or great. What do you think?
Great. I mean, it's definitely up there for the year for me out of everything I've seen this year.
I also put it in great. Here's the one concession that I give to great though. I sometimes have, for like movies that I think are great, I am self-aware enough to go, but it's Wes Anderson, so it's quirky as fuck. Right? Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like if I talk to friends of mine who love movies but don't necessarily love cinema, you know what I mean?
There's a difference.
Like, yeah. Like, if I talk to people who aren't, like, we were walking in somewhere just the other day, and somebody goes, "You're the biggest cinephile I know." And I'm like, first off, thank you. Second, you have not met some of my friends.
What do you think, Kevin?
I was like, I'm the baby of my group, but thank you. I think what they meant to say was, you're the most stomachable cinephile I've ever known. But yeah, so I do give people the caveat, like if you're going out to see this movie, if you hear us talk about it and you're like, oh, I want to go check out the Phoenician Scheme, just remember it's Wes Anderson. It's quirky as fuck. I actually think but ultimately, I actually think this is a really good introduction to Wes Anderson.
I was going to say
either
the same
this
thing.
or the
French
Fantastic
Dispatch.
Mr. Fox.
Oh.
Fantastic
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Wait, no,
well,
do it again
Okay.
on 3. A Wes Anderson movie that's a good introduction. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Fantastic
Asteroid
Mr.
City.
Fox.
Okay,
God
fuck
damn it.
All right. Anyway,
Fantastic Mr.
So-
Fox you should watch regardless if you know anything
Yeah,
about Wes.
oh,
That's
yeah.
just a good movie. Like
I think, and you could watch that with kids.
exactly.
You know,
that's why I was saying
Yeah,
French
yeah.
Dispatch is
Or
a
the
good
Island of
soft-
Dogs.
Island of Dogs is another great one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, spoilers for French Dispatch. Let's get into it here.
Not French Dispatch, Phoenician Scheme.
Fucking
I
God
don't
damn
want to
it.
talk about the French Dispatch.
Hold on. Spoilers for the Phoenician Scheme. Here.
And so you can't edit that out just so everybody knows Kevin says we're talking about the French
No,
Dispatch apparently.
no, I'm not. I'm gonna do 2 segments.
So French Dispatch, good, great, garbage.
It's phenomenal. I mean, you know, but yeah. So the Phoenician Scheme.
Yeah.
First off, okay, I have one thing that I want to talk about because we don't have to talk about it a lot. It's a very small thing, and then we can talk about the movie. He ejects the pilot
Yes.
of his plane
Twice.
out in the beginning when he fires him, right?
Yeah.
Then he ejects him out later. He's dead, right?
Yeah, he's dead. He was poisoned.
Okay, because he never comes back.
No, he's dead.
And like the movie rounds itself out in such a way where a lot of characters, like, you see what's going on for
Yeah.
them, right? And like I was like, that pilot is just done,
He's
man.
dead. Yeah, he was
Like,
poisoned.
okay,
The beer was
okay.
poisoned.
And it's very Looney Tunes style too.
Oh God.
Okay, so first off, I love the introduction to this movie because
oh my
I
God, yes.
we're panning out and you see fucking Benicio del Toro. They're on a plane and it's the classic Wes Anderson symmetrical shot, right? Like it's so visually pleasing, and I love that he does this. I love that Wes Anderson makes these like images.
Yeah.
Like, you could take a still of so many different moments in his movies, and it could just be a picture, and you would love it.
poster.
Like, yeah.
An album cover. Shit.
Yeah. So, like, but, like, we get the symmetrical shot, and it's immediately interrupted by the guy in the back of the plane.
That got me so off guard. Like, dude, I was like, what? What do you, Wes Anderson? What?
Dude, that was
Loved it.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing. And so, like, yeah. No, it was so abrupt to have, that guy just gets ripped in half. Like, blood on the wall, splattered. The plane is now irreparably damaged. They're going down.
Yeah. Now, okay. This is a great spot for me to talk about what I love in some of my favorite Wes Anderson movies and some of my least favorite Wes Anderson movies, because it does tie into this plot, and then we can kind of talk about it as we go through. Wes Anderson is really good. We already talked. He's really good at this whole, like, is this thing true? And my example, because I watched
the Who's Your Daddy plot.
Kind of, because I did watch this Wes Anderson movie in preparation because I hadn't seen it in a while. I rewatched The Life Aquatic. And in that, there's a couple what ifs. Is Owen Wilson's character really the son of Steve Zissou? Is the jaguar shark real? Is that really what killed Esteban in that movie?
Yeah.
And I think in some of other Wes Anderson movies, including like even elements in Fantastic Mr. Fox, French Dispatch a little bit, Moonrise Kingdom a little bit, there is this element of is this thing true? Is this thing that we're talking about true? And in Phoenician Scheme, there's two, in my opinion. One, the gap. Is this gap thing, like, what is it? What is this going to be revealed to be?
No. The gap is real. Yes.
Right.
No,
but
okay,
I'm
so
saying, like,
here's
the reveal on it.
Yeah.
And
okay.
then also the reveal on a character who from the beginning is a little weird and a little suspicious, but then it's revealed in the most, like, nonchalant way that they're a double agent.
Yeah.
I think that I love that Wes Anderson puts those elements in his film.
From the moment we meet fucking Michael Cera, Bjorn,
dude,
he's
best
not
part of
Bjorn.
this movie, by the way, in my opinion.
I thought he was great.
I loved him in this, and I saw him earlier this year in that movie Sacramento, he was also great in.
Okay, here's the thing. That I'm recognizing, because we're kind of going over this now. Here's what I got for you. So we've got Royal Tenenbaums, Life Aquatic, Darjeeling Limited, Fantastic Mr. Fox a little bit, Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom, Island of Dogs. Actually, there's a lot of like parentage sub-theme, like who's your daddy, who's the person who takes care of you, what's the effect that parents have on you. Wes Anderson does a very good job. I think that's a way that he grounds his movie around something relatable, right?
Yep.
Because if we didn't have that element to the story, and it actually does make us care more about the characters, because as he's setting up the stakes, he also grounds the relationship of the two characters instead of making it like you're not like, oh, these are two people who randomly met and we're just supposed to like like it's like no, this is his daughter, like this, so you're like, oh, cool, I believe the relationship immediately,
Exactly. And the best example of that is the Royal Tenenbaums. I mean,
yes,
that movie is centered around one adopted child to birth child, this guy Gene Hackman, which by the way, I mentioned Royal Tenenbaums because I want to say this fact. I think it's hilarious that it's not hilarious that Gene Hackman died. I think it's hilarious that after Gene Hackman died, Wes Anderson was like, he was the worst person I ever worked with. I fucking hated that guy. I did not like him. He did not like me. I was an annoying 30-year-old who pressured him into doing this movie, and then he complained about the salary and
the whole time. Yeah.
And honestly, I just think that's funny. But yeah, so I agree with your themes about the parenting.
Yeah, but I also love in the very beginning of this film, he also sets up your expectations as a viewer really well, because the guy in the back of the plane blows up, essentially.
No,
and then,
literally.
Yeah, and then the plane goes down, it crashes, and you get the background on Benicio del Toro's character Zsa Zsa, but via press releases, and that sets up the inter-chapter narration of the film done through these press releases, and then these quick asides to essentially the American government / CIA.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, yeah. So like we get the narration piece, and then it cuts back to the pilot in this cornfield that, Benicio del Toro has landed in, and Benicio del Toro walks up and they're like, "Oh, you're still alive." He's like, "Yeah, but I lost a lot of blood."
And this organ won't go back in. It's not as easy as it looks. That line
He's like, "I think it's
me.
vestigial." Yeah.
It's not as easy as it looks.
That was solid, and it really sets up, like, 1, this character's hard to kill. 2, like, here are the stakes. 3, this is going to be cartoony.
Yeah, and again, you made me think of another point, going back to what I said about, like, these what-ifs. There's this big subplot of somebody is trying to assassinate him, and then, it's revealed to be his brother. And I thought that reveal was kind of funny because it's never really said why he's trying to kill him. He just is.
Yeah, he just doesn't like. Well, I mean, okay. We can jump ahead. We meet his brother, and it is the most angry-looking Benedict Cumberbatch I have ever seen.
Yeah.
They could not have made his eyebrows more filled with rage.
He looks like he's trying out for Lemony Snicket. Like
that man all of his brow is only furrowed.
Yeah.
Like he could smile and look angry.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So like Benedict Cumberbatch, big reveal, his brother. Like, and what was really funny was
as about halfway through.
Well, they list off like who's in the film, right? You know, and then we do see the picture, but like as we're like being introduced to people, I'm like, oh, Benedict Cumberbatch is his brother. Like, yeah. But I really I love that it's a lot of exposition in the beginning, but Wes Anderson breaks up the exposition because the next big scene that we get is the scene where Bjorn comes in, he sits down, like you're not introduced to him yet.
He's just
then
there.
Benicio del Toro's there. His daughter comes in. She's a nun. You don't know that it's his daughter yet, but here we are. We start the explanation, and then it's all exposition interspersed with arrows being shot down from a balcony from his adopted children.
His 9 adopted sons.
His 9 adopted sons. And then as that's like, I love the scene. Like first an arrow comes down and it shoots a box, right? And then they go to explain the shoe boxes and like what each of them represents because they have papers in them, right? Like they have official documents. He's not keeping anything anywhere else. Like that's his stuff. And then the flaming arrow comes down and he like breaks. Like he's like, all right, hold on 1 second, and like runs off screen, and you just like he like takes the fucking crossbow.
The first time he shoots the bolt, he pulls it out and he hands it to his buddy. He's like, he's been sharpening this. It's supposed to have a suction cup, and I was like, that's fine. And then the second time he just goes and breaks, and I was like, yeah,
it's perfect.
I love Wes Anderson because his dialogue is so. I'm gonna fuck up this word, so correct me. Rhythmic. Is that the right? Am I using that tense right? Rhythmic.
Yeah.
His dialogue has a very rhythmic tone to it, where, and it's really obvious in this one where one person says something, somebody bounces back. One person says something, somebody bounces back. There's a couple of points as they're going on this little adventure where he starts arguing.
What you're saying it has a good cadence.
Yeah, and even sometimes to like his music, there's a lot of beats that switch between shots, and that's where like words bounce off of the beats in the music a little bit. And there's one moment where, and Wes Anderson's sound design's always been great, but these like characters are yelling at each other, and then the music swells and it stops, and then somebody breaks it up with something comical. And Wes Anderson's dialogue has always been really good at like, again, feeling to me like I'm watching a stage play in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, and then so the daughter eventually agrees to go with him on this journey to like learn about his business because he's doing this the Phoenician Scheme is the plot of the movie. This character Jaja has a scheme that stretches across war-torn Phoenicia, right? This massive land
stuff.
Yep. And it involves a lot of really rich people, some of them royalty, some of them American tycoons, one of them a German second cousin of his that wants to marry him for no fucking reason. But like we start getting introduced to these characters and everything is a fucking cartoon, right? Like,
yeah.
I will actually go so far as to say I did not hate Tom Hanks in this.
No, like, I thought him and Bryan Cranston's characters were really funny.
Hilarious together.
Opposed to Benicio del Toro and Riz Ahmed's characters in their meeting.
Yeah, well, okay. Riz Ahmed and Benicio del Toro, when they first... Okay, so they go to fucking Phoenicia, and they're in the desert, and there's a car, and fucking, Michael Cera's in the background watching a dung beetle, and he's putting on this accent the whole time, like this Belgian... accent. He's like, I do not know what you are talking about.
That's
Like,
pretty good, actually.
yeah, like the whole fucking time. That's what he's doing. He's like, my name is Bjorn. I do not drink the beers that much. Like, yeah, and it made his character really endearing. And he's kind of like, for a lot of the movie, he's like this like background kind of quirky side character that adds to the plot moving along as it moves along. I love that the assassin shows up, and he just at first like this is when I knew I'm like, oh, his brother's trying to kill him. He goes, hey, I know that guy. I think I know that guy. He used
That's
to
the
work
whole
for
bit,
me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And that's the bit. And like what's good is like, and I've said this about the Brandon Sanderson books that I'm reading, when I feel rewarded for having guessed something based off of the breadcrumb you gave me, that's when you know the writing's good. Like, and I felt rewarded when I was watching this movie when the reveal came later. So like he's like, hey, but also I fucking love that he's like, assassins, and they're on horseback like in the desert. They look like the Illuminati from the fucking Mummies trilogy, right? And then Mia Threppleton's character just pulls out a knife, like a double-edged serrated fucking dagger. Yeah.
Got it at the airport. That's what she said. She's like, I got it at the airport.
I got it at the airport is the best line.
Dude.
I was like, this is definitely the 1950s.
So I'm going to tell you, I didn't guess that it was his brother. So when that was revealed, I was like, oh, cool. I like that. Like, I felt it was still a nice reward, even though I didn't get it.
The only reason I knew it is because he's like, that guy used to work for me, and every single plot that wasn't a direct assassination was a business-related thing. And he's like, my brother and I do business by proxy because he sucks. And I was like, oh, I got it. Like, I know what's going on. Yeah. So, first off, so then we go through, like, this...
It's just
I feel
Wes
like
Anderson regulars doing their little bits, their little
bits.
scenes, their 5-minute little chances to shine.
Yeah,
as
well,
a
I
weird
was gonna say we get these little vignettes about covering the gap. The gap is the amount of money needed to finish this project, right? And the gap has significantly increased because of the price of bolts, which is like. That's hilarious because as soon as they started talking, like as soon as the guy held up the bolt and he starts talking, I'm like, oh, I know what you're going to do.
Terrorists.
And like that makes sense. Kind of. Yeah. Well, and really like there is a real world element to this where like there's a little bit of commentary upon like market manipulation and how like that affects everything. Yeah. But we get these vignettes and it starts with Riz Ahmed, who shows up and like immediately is like hitting on his daughter, and like Michael Cera is defensive, and then like they go on this little like cart to ride out and meet Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks. And when they first meet Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks, we get the second kind of like running gag of the film, which is
the hard liquor.
Within minutes of meeting any of his business partners, they're yelling at each other.
Oh, that one too. Yeah, that's what I was talking
just
about.
Immediately, just absolutely screaming about business, and then it abruptly stops every single time.
That's what I was saying. I love that.
Yeah. No, which is really funny because it's a really good way to... What's great is they're yelling the business stuff that we don't really, and this is a good note to Wes Anderson. They're yelling the business stuff that if it was just back and forth dialogue would drag this movie down and make it slow.
Yep.
And so they get it all out real quick, and then we get back to the Wes Anderson. That was his way of going, yeah, I don't really care about that. What I care about is the quirky little vignettes that I'm crafting here.
So one thing that another thing I love about Wes Anderson, and there's a lot to dissect in his filmmaking. All of it individually is incredible, and then smashing it together is even better.
Yep.
It's how long he holds certain shots on certain things. So
yes.
You already kind of mentioned the symmetrical angle, which is mainly... since this is an audio podcast, think symmetrical with a lot of Wes Anderson's are like the horizontal line down the middle of the screen. Things are evenly placed on both sides or symmetrical on both sides. You'll notice it a lot. There's a door on the far left of the screen. There's a door on the far right. And another thing that he does is, like I said, how long he holds his shots. And a great example of this is the opening to the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yes.
Each character intro, with the exception of 2, is held for 160 frames. The 2 exceptions are Gene Hackman's, because he's the main character. It's held for 164, I believe. And Luke Wilson's character at the very end, Richie, his is held for about 380, but his title card disappears at 160 frames. So Wes Anderson is really good at keeping things. Isle of Dogs, there's a scene where a bunch of dogs, you're cutting between their faces. Each shot is held for the same amount of time. When he's doing dolly shots and the background is changing, each one is held for the same amount of time, timed with the music and the cues and the dialogue. And like, that is just such an interesting and cool way to frame your shots and to frame your blocking and have your script around it and everything. Like, holding shots for the same amount of time every single time, I don't think I mean, even myself, like, I don't even notice it sometimes, but I bet when Phoenician Scheme comes out to streaming and YouTube people get their hand on it, like, they're going to dissect it and see that, you know, each of these frames were held for the same amount of time and yada, 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 which is just another element I really love with him.
Oh, dude, no, I love that too. He does a really good job just framing everything out. And then, like, there's such a blend of that art, and then it's contrasted with the inherent silliness of what's going on. You know, because, like, they meet Bryan Cranston and Tom Hanks, and, like I said, I didn't hate Tom Hanks in this. I actually really liked the back and forth that they all kind of had. And those guys represent, like, the quintessential American businessmen who can't resist but play a game of basketball.
A game of horse or whatever.
Yeah, but the game of horse is all just a big setup to get them to stay there longer so he can figure out what the fuck he's going to say to get them to cover part of the gap.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, because it shows you he doesn't actually have a plan. He's going in and winging it every single time. And then we get our first little aside with Michael Cera and Mia Threppleton, right? Meanwhile, there's, like, not so serious basketball games going on outside, and every once in a while shaking the back car of the train.
Yeah, you see the basketball flying.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. And Riz Ahmed, like, he's like, he gets Riz Ahmed to believe in himself, and like, he's like, can I throw it like this? And then we cut, and it just, like, I love that it doesn't show that the basket wasn't made. You just know. And, like, the comedy of that, like, Wes Anderson understands the timing of that comedy, where, like, we're like, wait, did he make the shot? We didn't get to see it. But then, like, but you see on the black screen, you're like, oh, no, he missed the shot.
Yeah.
Like, that was really good.
I liked to kind of, like, speedrun some of these interactions because I don't think they're all equally as good. The next one is
Jeffrey Wright.
No, it's the club guy that he takes the bullet for.
Oh, yeah, shit. No, who is that?
That is the one guy. I can't remember his name here. I have the cast.
This is why I brought up the links. I got the links.
Prophet? No,
it
that's
is Matthew Amaric.
Thank you.
Matthew Amaric. Yeah, no, who's a really, like, dude, he's a funny actor that, like, when he popped up, I was like, I know him from somewhere. You know, like, and you know where it's from? Is fucking Quantum of Solace. That's what he's from.
You know what? He does look familiar. That makes sense because and they're meeting same thing.
Famous French actor Mathieu Amalric. And he's fucking hilarious.
In that one, he has a letter come in, and it's like his own handwriting, and the guy's like, I recognize your handwriting. This isn't going to work. And he's like, no, I had Bjorn rewrite it. Oh, shit. Like, he's like,
she's like, you just revealed that you lied. And then Mr. Iotti shows up.
Oh, dude, that's what I wanted to get to. I'm not trying to speak, but, like, he is one of my favorite parts in this.
No, he's great. Richard Iotti
as this overly long freedom fighter organization name leader.
Communist freedom fighters.
Yeah.
Yep. They're communist rebels.
And they're robbing everybody.
This is a robbery.
This is that's my favorite. Probably my favorite bit is he has a machine gun and he's shooting this chandelier in the ceiling. Every time he's like, this is a robbery. Da-da-da-da. Give us your money and you won't be harmed. Da-da-da. And then the guy comes out and he's like, why are you shooting my ceiling? And he's like, this is a robbery. Da-da-da-da.
He's like, yeah, but don't shoot. He's like, take what you want and get out. Yeah, like, he's like, don't shoot my ceiling. No, I love like
Benicio del Toro.
Just a really and then he shoots. Well, yeah, he shoots Benicio del Toro because Benicio del Toro takes a bullet for Mathieu Amalric. It's blocked by his diplomatic papers, right, which are so thick, comically thick, that they slow down the bullet. And then they take the bullet out, and then he has to go get a blood. He's like, "Do you think I need a blood transfusion?" Then they go to the next guy, who is Jeffrey Wright.
And
I
love what he's doing. Where he's just like, "Hi, how are you? Come on in. I'm nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you." He's like on crack.
So funny.
It's great,
dude. He's once again like he's like this caricature of business. You know, he's like, "Come on in, let's do the thing." And then they're sitting there doing the blood transfusion.
That's enough blood, friend.
And dude, yeah, just I fucking love that scene, and they yell at each other again. They do the thing again, like so. Now we keep repeating this theme of like the business meeting, and then it reveals a little more about the plot. But what I also like is that when they first meet, Bryan Cranston goes to Mia Threppleton's character. He goes, "I knew your mother," and then like immediately when they meet Mathieu Amory. He's like, "I knew your mother."
Oh yeah, they're all
like
I
just
knew your mother.
like it just speeds up, like, and then people start just giving her facts about her mom and stuff, and so like they just keep building on like the theme, but also this repetitive piece for each of the characters. Every time they go to a new place, each character gets like a new thing, including Michael Cera's character, who reveals a little bit more about himself each time. You know, like he's not just a nerdy tutor. He also is like very interested in helping. He's offering hand grenades to people. That was another thing. Offering the hand grenade was great.
The hand grenades are cheaper than bullets.
Yep, he's like, the hand grenades are cheaper than bullets.
And they're decorated to be like the fruit basket you'd give somebody. This is a hand grenade instead.
Would you like a hand grenade?
And I love that.
And then
you mentioned Mia Threppleton's mom's character. That is And I blanked when I was trying to make my point earlier. That is the one bit where like I was wondering what the reveal was going to be on who killed her mom. I was like, did Benicio del Toro's character actually kill her and he's lying, or was it somebody else? And I liked that honestly kept me guessing the entire time. I wasn't sure if he was lying or not.
No, because those are the stakes, right?
Yeah.
Is that her mom was killed and she thinks it might be, well, eventually people like, she thinks it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so then the thing that I love about Jeffrey Wright, and Jeffrey Wright is a phenomenal actor. He is playing a character he has never played in this. Because think of it like Westworld. He's like the very serious scientist guy who's been developing these androids and kind of loves the fact that they're making life, but is really questioning like what's going on there. And then you've got like, he's Commissioner Gordon in the Batman, right? Right?
Yeah.
Is he Commissioner Gordon?
Well, he's Lieutenant Gordon, but he becomes
Lieutenant Gordon.
And then in Hunger Games, he's a previous winner who's all techie based, but like yeah.
He keeps playing these serious, very like low speaking characters, and then in this movie,
Quantum of Solace,
yeah. And so in these movies, he ends up like I think in this movie he gets to be a little bit different, and like I really like that he got to play a fun character like this.
He seems like
that was really good.
Everybody always looks like they're having fun in Wes Anderson movies, but he especially looked like he was really like when he greets
he's like,
everybody.
What a breath of fresh air.
And he's like, "Hi, how are you? How you doing? How you doing?" I was just like, it seems like in my head, I'm like, he's just waiting for that action. He's like, like he's just he's on it.
And from that little like exposition, we move on to our your least favorite person that we meet in the movie.
Okay,
and we talked about this, and I know that you hate Scarlett Johansson.
No, well, I don't hate her. I just don't know if I've ever really seen her in anything that I think she's good in.
She was good in Asteroid City.
Yeah. Okay. I'm worried about Jurassic World. That's where I'm like, we'll see how she does in that. But her character in this has the only different interaction with, and I want to get the name of Mia Threppleton's character, Liesel. Liesel? Is that it? Liesel?
Oh, yeah, Liesel.
Every other character in the meetings up until that point, like you said, is like, hey, I knew your mother. She just straight up goes to Scarlett Johansson's character and was like, did you know my mother? Like, she beats them to it that time. And I thought that was interesting.
No, it was nice.
That was a cool little twist where she's developed enough as a character. She's like, okay, all these people knew who my mother was. Let's get some answers.
Yep. Let's get to it.
But she's like,
Scarlett, do you think he killed her?
I'm sorry. She just was not very good in this. I don't think it was the right role. It was the accent. It didn't.
I was about to say, her German accent was not good.
Not great.
No,
not at all.
Like,
no.
And it took me out of the entire scene.
A little. Yeah,
like,
it did. It really did.
She was playing the Wes Anderson character, but somebody else who could have done an accent better would have done it better for me.
Uma
You know what I
Thurman.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely somebody could have done it better. I really wish we had gotten someone who like could lean into that accent and make it more believable. That's it. So
And hers is
you know,
also
we
the
keep
shortest,
developing.
too.
It is the shortest,
Yeah.
but it's good and it's to the point. And he proposes to her, and she's like, "Is that what did she say? Is that paste?"
Yeah.
And he's
paste.
like, "Yeah, I had to improvise it." Like he proposes to her with a ring because he realizes that's what she wants is to like be married, whatever. And like that, once again like this guy Jaja, he's a con man. Like at the end of the day, he's a con man. He's conning everybody. He does reveal at one point when they're flying that he doesn't technically live anywhere. He doesn't need a passport because he's not a citizen of anywhere. I was like, that was a funny moment because I'm like, all right, I believe it because this is Wes Anderson world, but that's not how that works.
I think he's like, my official address is a shack in Portugal, and I'm like, okay, then your residency is Portugal. Like that's how that would work now.
He's like, but actually, I have another place on the edge of a cliff in like
accessible by
whatever.
goat.
Yeah,
only by goat.
yeah, yeah.
Only by goat.
I was like, okay, which is fun and funny. So I'm just like, it's whatever. It's a Wes Anderson film.
world.
But we see that and this time, like we're finally the characters are developing enough that we can see like more of the connection being made between Michael Cera's character Bjorn and Liesel. Have more of a connection. Jaja is like he's getting more and more like manic in trying to solve these problems. Yeah, he's having to like reveal more of himself, give up more, and he doesn't want to. He wants everybody else to cover the gap but him. This is how he makes his money. So, eventually like it's shown like, and as it keeps showing, it shows like his brother Uncle Newbar needs to cover more of the gap every single time, and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be a hard conversation. And then we finally get to the end, and like it's time to reveal like the big project and stuff, right? Well, first they get shot down. Right?
Well, there's that quick moment where they get shot down. Michael Cera reveals that he's a double agent, and that is my second favorite bit, where he's like, I could show you my real self. It's not that different. And he like turns around for a second, and when he turns back around, his hair is like completely redone. He's not wearing glasses. He has a cigarette. Everything's unbuttoned. He's like, see? Not that different. He's like talking in a deeper, regular voice.
It's like basically the same person.
Basically the same person. And she's like, no.
No, not at all. No, I loved that moment because it gave him, instead of him dropping it in the middle of a scene, it gives us, one, the quirky Wes Anderson thing, but then two, it gives him a moment of actual reveal, right? Like it actually, even though it's like silly and kind of nonchalant in a way, it still gives us a reveal for the character. I really like how that was incorporated. The other thing that I liked about that scene is they're all kind of locked up together in this like crash plane, and that's where they okay. Wes Anderson, Zack Snyder. Come here, sit down. Crisscross applesauce. All right. Do you see the Wes Anderson film? Do you see how they did a round table telling of their stories, but they did it in 30 fucking seconds? Do that, Wes. Do that, Zach. All right, go play with your fucking toys in slow motion. That's like, okay.
Go play with your Rebel Moon action figures.
Dude, when they did that, they did the round table, I was like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you reveal the character. You don't have to do a flashback for everybody in fucking slow motion talking about why they all hate the Empire. No. Like, they all explain one key component of their character. Bjorn's isn't even prompted. It's just Jaja and Liesel sharing something, and then Bjorn just throws it in. Yeah. And you're just like, and that makes it funny. Like, Wes Anderson understands. Okay. This is what I love about Wes Anderson, what makes him a great director. He's a great fucking writer. Yeah. He's a great writer. Yeah. He doesn't have to, like, the directing part is made so much easier by the fact that the script makes sense and it adheres to rules.
They're fun characters that people want to play and they can make their own.
He's good. He's just good
at
writing.
Good. And okay, so and then at the end, right? They get all the parties involved, sign the official
Everybody's
document.
at the big thing, and the suit that he was being tailored for earlier is done. He's dressed up like he's a Phoenician representative. Yeah.
And so they wheel out a model, and again, I love Wes Anderson's model work. That shit looks so good. Of what this giant project is, and you kind of got hints at it. It is a combination of a trans-mountain railroad a trans something canal, a trans waterway canal,
Yep.
It's
a canal, a power plant, a railroad, and a way to transport the goods from one country across Phoenicia to another.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in the middle of his speech, they're like, Uncle Newbar wants to talk to you, and he's just like, oh yeah, Uncle Newbar, whatever do you want? He's like, I'm gonna kill you, and then they have the weirdest fight ever.
Yep. Well, okay. Here's what I love about that. First off, he drops the entire meeting and no one has an issue with it whatsoever. He's like, hold on.
Okay.
And he just leaves. And because they're like, Uncle Newbar's here. And then, but he has to because he has to get the fucking gap covered. So all the stakes are set. Everything's in line. It all makes sense. And of course, none of these quirky characters who have already bent to the whims of Zsa, whatever the fuck his name is, are gonna move or object. They all want to figure it out too. So then he goes down, and first it's the classic business discussion, right? And they do the quick yelling thing, and then they get into the meat of the discussion, and he's like, you're never gonna do this. And then I love the reveal where he finally, first off, you're like, oh, Liesel actually probably is Uncle Newbar's daughter. First off,
yeah.
Then there's the big reveal that Uncle Newbar's been the one killing him, and then he goes, all right, I'll do it myself. And he goes, and you're like, wait, cover the gap?
Yeah.
What do you and because they haven't solved anything. And then he goes, and even Zsa character, he goes, do what? And he's like, kill you. And you're like that was, and it's the only time in the movie that you get this shot, and it's a close up of the angriest Benedict Cumberbatch we've ever seen, with the biggest, bushiest eyebrows we've ever seen on him. And it's the camera's shaking, and he's trying to strangle you as I loved that. I was like, yes, that was perfect, because what that does is it encapsulates everything that his character is, and you don't even need another word of dialogue. He's like, I'm angry, I'm here, I'm coming at you, I'm going to kill you. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they have the funniest fight scene I think
the
I've
most
ever seen.
Three Stooges slapstick, pulling rugs out. They have
Running
a
down
sword
the
fight with lampposts for a second. They're throwing vases at each other.
And then they run down what seems like the same stairs again, but then back into the other. It was
very Scooby Doo in that sense.
Absolutely perfect. And then Uncle Newbar
explodes,
climbs on top of the thing, yes, and explodes.
He pulls
and
a grenade,
releases a bunch of water.
He pulls out a pin and a grenade, and then just blows up.
Well, very symbolically, he blows up the project, right? Which is and that leads us to the end of the film. They round everything out with Zsa has learned to not just be a businessman who's all about making all the money all the time. Instead, he runs a restaurant because he learned to cook as an orphan, which was the thing he revealed on the plane. And that might seem, I think, to other people who are really looking to be mired in whatever fucking heavy emotion every scene has to have. Some people might watch a movie like this and go, I don't like that. And that's fucking
fair.
fine.
Yeah.
You can be wrong.
Yeah. Have fun not enjoying good stuff.
Yeah. Have fun not enjoying a fun time. But no, at the end, Liesel is doing the narration, right? And she reveals that he's really good at cooking. And also dishwashing.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
Yeah.
And then it's the same bucket with the same water drip. Because there's a callback. We didn't mention this, but there's a moment early on where one of the boys asks if you're poor. He asks Zaza if he's poor because there's a leak in the ceiling.
Yep.
And then at the very end, there's a leak in the ceiling.
In the ceiling.
Place. Yeah.
Exactly. Showing that even when they had the most, they still had an issue to deal with. Wes Anderson, mwah.
He understands.
This movie was great.
It's
you know what?
Yeah.
We both said great. That's certified unpop greatness, baby.
greatness.
Greatness.
Yeah.
Greatness. You did it. You're the best.
Dude.
It's up there for me this year. As somebody who's seen so much slop this year that I actually had to skip some of it in May to catch up for it on streaming in theaters because I just couldn't handle it. it was
Yeah.
nice to
Was
see.
2023 Asteroid City?
Yes. It's been 2
And that
years.
was like one of our movies of the year, and I think this is
It's gonna be
Wes
one of my
Anderson.
movies of the
Every
year.
time Wes Anderson puts out a
but,
movie, it's
like,
like one of the movies of the year for sure.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I want to, while we've got any final thoughts about this movie
Final
before
thoughts
I move into
is
my final part.
Yeah, final thoughts is I hope more directors learn to be better writers and editors.
Oh God, wouldn't that be nice?
It would be great. It would be great.
I want to ask you what your order, like what's your top 3, bottom 3 Wes Anderson films?
Okay, so I can't really do like a top 3, bottom 3 off the cuff like that. But if you got me to sit down, I'd probably settle somewhere around. I'll give you 3 that are most likely the top. Asteroid City, The Phoenician Scheme, because I want to watch this movie again.
I do too.
Yeah, it was really good, and Benicio del Toro. So, and actually, Mia Threppleton kind of made it for me.
She's awesome.
Like if that role had been played less, I would have not liked it as much. So like, Asteroid City, this one, and a lot of people. Mine used to be the same as a lot of other people's. A lot of people think The Life Aquatic is one of his best, right? But I actually like if you were to lean into. I've got Wes Anderson films right here. Okay, so let's. Yeah,
I want to know like what your top 3, and then like I don't know, pick like the 2 that you think are like his or your least favorite.
Okay.
I guess.
So for me, the best ones would be The Phoenician Scheme. Oh, Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah, okay. Phoenician Scheme, Asteroid City, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Wow, we have the same top 3.
There you go.
Because it's Grand Budapest, Asteroid City, then this for me right now.
I don't know. I
I
can't
just see them
put
all
them in
again.
order
Yeah.
yet. Yeah, because I've watched Grand Budapest like 5 times. I've watched Asteroid City twice. I've watched this once. So like I feel like marinating it, I could come up with an order for it. But those are definitely the best in
Okay.
my opinion. Period.
Can I tell you my hot take on what my least favorite out of all the ones
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen?
hit me.
And I don't think it's going to be Rushmore because it looks really good.
Rushmore is really good.
My least favorite Wes Anderson movie is The Life Aquatic.
Really?
Yes, and here's my reasoning. And I got into an argument with somebody about this already. And look, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I wouldn't say any of his movies are bad. I'm saying it's my least favorite, and it's because I think The Life Aquatic is Wes Anderson's first really big budget movie. And I think it shows that with a bigger budget, you lose the Wes Anderson charm. I think for me, personally, what I really like about a lot of the Wes Anderson movies aren't these giant sets or these incredible pieces. I like how everything feels very small and almost tight and not claustrophobic, but it feels like a stage play. And I think after Life Aquatic is when he really started to find what gave Wes Anderson the Wes Anderson effect. Like the things that we see in The French Dispatch and like Isle of Dogs and Fantastic Mr. Fox and stuff. So for me, The Life Aquatic is just my least favorite. I think for me it's like his weakest because of the bigger budget. To me, the bigger budget weighed it down.
I think my least, if I had to put them in order, I would just have one on the bottom. But I don't know that I would call it my least favorite. I would just say it's just the bottom. Like these are all movies that I like.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I like all of these, but the one that I would very, very unfortunately have to put at the bottom is Island of Dogs, just because that I like it,
I
but
agree.
like there's so many other great. The other ones are so much better.
I would say that would be like
it's not
right
that it
above
was
this.
bad.
Yeah,
it's not that it was bad. Like, and I actually, The Life Aquatic was the first Wes Anderson film I watched, and then I actually went back and watched other ones. So like the Life Aquatic has a special place for me because that's how I was introduced to it. Because I was like, oh, Bill Murray hasn't done something in a while. Oh, Willem Dafoe is fucking this guy.
Klaus.
Like,
yeah.
It was like, wait, you mean the guy from Boondock Saints is playing this guy? Like, because that's what that was
Owen
at that
Wilson.
point. Like, yeah, it was so good. And Owen Wilson was known for like playing these like heartthrob rom-com characters, and he's playing a quirky guy. And I was like, okay,
He's playing
who's
a
this Wes
Kentucky
Anderson
pilot.
guy, and why is he doing this?
Yeah.
You know,
and I just rewatched it 2 days ago to see if it was still my least favorite. But I think Life Aquatic and Isle of Dogs are my two my two at the bottom for sure.
Okay. That's cool. What's your jam this week?
Predator, Killer of Killers.
Which I'm going to watch at some point this
Fucking
week.
phenomenal. Look,
Really?
I have
It's animated. It's short stories.
So,
right?
Yes and no. It is animated. It's animated in a very similar style to like Blue-Eyed Samurai in a way. I like the animation
hell
style.
yeah.
It's a very
I
cool,
love that animation. Yeah.
It's a very I don't even know how you really describe it, but it's a really cool animation style.
Well, there's a samurai one, a Viking one, and a World War II one, right?
Yeah, so this movie is about 3 stories that you get them all individually, and then they all come together. One is
it all the same predator?
A Viking. Nope, 3 different predators. The movie opens with the predator homeworld sending predators out, and they say find the killers and become the killer of killers. Right, that's the whole predators thing. So
cool. Yeah, all right. I like that.
Each predator is different. I don't want to give too much away on what each predator is like, but the Viking one fights one that's very akin to fighting the Vikings. The one that fights the samurais is very much a samurai-style predator, and the World War II one completely surprised me. It's so clever, and it's something that we've never seen in Predator ever.
Really?
It is completely airplane warfare. It's fucking awesome. It's dogfighting World War II against the Predator.
That was in the trailer.
Yeah, it's
okay,
it's
cool.
so good.
Okay, cool.
And these 3 stories then connect to bring all 3 of the characters together for what their purpose is. And
cool.
What I like about this movie as a big Predator fan, dude, ever since I was a kid, I've been
There's
obsessed
an
with Predator.
alien Easter egg at the end.
Dude, no, even better.
No, that would ruin it.
It actually helps tie and explain a lot of things in the Predator universe. So this isn't even that big of a deal. So I would say spoiler, but like it's not. It's all over the internet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect the movie. I'm gonna say it here. So if you don't want to hear it, skip ahead.
That's fine.
But at the end, you see the last one of the characters is stuck on the Predator homeworld while the other 2 escape.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say who. They're wheeling this person in a like cryogenic cube. Because they're all from different time periods, so that's how explains how they all get theirs because they're frozen.
Oh, they freeze them.
Cryo sleep, baby.
Oh, okay, all right,
so,
cool.
This person's getting wheeled through, and you see all these cryogenic things, and you see all these different aliens from different worlds. So that means that the predators are collecting all of these killer of killers, and they're using them for whatever.
Oh, cool.
And guess who you pass by? Amber Midthunder's character from Prey. I lost it. I was like, yes, this connects it. This connects
sick.
all of them. This also apparently explains
cool.
what happened to Dutch.
That's cool.
This is why all the predators don't always have to connect. And I'm like, yes, I don't know where we're going, but the fact that Predator Badlands is coming out later this year, same director of Killer of Killers, and that's I'm like, yes, I don't know where we're going with Predator, but we're going in the right direction.
That's cool.
So
yeah,
good.
no, I do like that. Yeah, because
dude.
Prey was really good. Prey
was
actually
so
showed
good.
me that Predator movies could be better.
Like
it's
Alien
not that they were
Romulus.
bad. The original Predator was like, the original Predator was like a really original movie for its time. And then Predator 2 was fine. And then you got all these Alien versus Predator things, and there was a trading card game and a bunch of like action figures and a bunch of stuff. But like, fuck it. Prey came along, and I was like, no, this is good. All right, we're doing good storytelling and action, which is like, that's kind of what like this episode has been about. Is like, are you doing action? Are you doing good storytelling? Are you doing both?
And this one is both.
What are you doing?
And you know what's cool about this one too?
What?
The first one's a Viking, the second one's a samurai. There's no English spoken probably for the first 45 minutes, 50 minutes of this movie.
Thank you. I hope we do that more.
But here's the other cool thing. There's not a lot of dialogue in the first 2 stories because those characters are like full-on warriors. And then you get to the guy in World War II, and you're like, oh, this is this character. Okay.
He's talking a ton.
Dude, he's talking nonstop.
I love it. That's cool.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah?
Hulu.
Hell yeah. My jam this week is just the Final Fantasy franchise in general. It is like, it's kind of taken up a little bit of free time in my mind this week because the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set came out. I'm a huge nerd. I have pulled pretty much every card that I want from the set, which is great. I was playing Magic the Gathering on Friday for the pre-release. I played a little bit last night with some friends. But ultimately, what this release did, and this is kind of like, we talk about the Fortnite-ification, or like, we were kind of talking in the beginning, like how millennials, like we're into collecting things and like we don't care to pay a little extra to have something look cooler than it was before. Like we don't want the plain card, we want the special edition, whatever, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
we are the generation of limited release and shoe drops and fucking like like all that shit. I like. But what this did more than that was it made me go, oh, you know what? I actually haven't played all of the Final Fantasy games. What are the other stories about? And there are some really good YouTube channels that do story recaps of Final Fantasy games, right? So like if I'm not going to sit down, I don't have 80 hours to play,
Right. Playing 11
a single
games.
Final Fantasy game. So what I did instead was I looked up some really cool hold on. I was going to look up the fucking wow. That's YouTube.
Real
All right,
happening.
anyway,
Real time, everybody.
I just turned on YouTube. It's fucking no, I'm going to edit this part out.
No, you're not.
No, I shouldn't. But yeah, so no, I looked up a really cool YouTube channel. This is something I should have loaded up. I didn't load up my fucking jam this week.
Wow. Slacking. Okay.
So Zygor Gaming does the complete story of Final Fantasy, and they've been going through a lot of different ones, and each one's presented as a video essay, and it was just really cool to get the story of all these things, because I feel like Final Fantasy is one of those things. We've been talking about this a lot on the podcast. There's in-universe development things, right? I think Final Fantasy is one of those things we haven't seen a movie of yet. We haven't seen a series of yet. No one's announced a Final
Just
Fantasy
like the
show
animated
or anything.
game movies or whatever.
There's Advent Children from 7, and then there is the movie before 15 came out. There was Kingsglaive, and I own both of them on DVD because I'm a huge fucking nerd. I have a single wing tattoo on my left side because Sephiroth is the one-winged angel. I'm a huge fucking nerd. So getting back into those stories, but then also learning about the other ones, because they're all so vastly different, but they all involve magic and a little bit of technology, and it's always an adventure, and it kind of falls into the whole we got to go get this thing to stop this person from doing this thing so that we can stop this other thing so that we can save the world from this thing. It's a very much it's an adventure, it's a quest, it's D&D. It's the classic hero's journey over and over and over again. But they're very unique in the way that they approach different things. So my jam this week is Final Fantasy lore. If you haven't played any of those games and any of it kind of interests you, I think a really good place to start, if you're interested in learning about it at all, is check out the story for Final Fantasy 6. I think Final Fantasy, I would say 7 because it's my favorite game ever. Possibly. Yeah, that was the game that showed me you could tell good stories in game. But Final Fantasy 6 probably has one of the most interesting stories ever, and the good guys don't initially win, which I think is really, really cool. Because as I was looking up the lore of each of these stories, I was like, oh, Final Fantasy VI walked so Final Fantasy VII could run, baby. So that's my jam this week. Just Final Fantasy lore. The games themselves, they were originally turn-based RPGs. They've evolved a lot over the years, but they have a huge fan base, and there's even an online MMORPG called Final Fantasy XIV that a ton of people play. But that's my jam this week, man. I've really been digging that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know zero about
man.
it, so maybe I'll check one of those out.
Hell yeah, dude. What else? You got any other jams for me? You got any music jams?
Nah.
Do you have any music jams this week?
Nope. I had music jams last week. I had a bunch of jams last week. But
I have
you did your
music jam.
Here we are. Thank
I
you,
have
everybody.
a music jam for you. How about that?
Bah.
What?
Bah.
I just have a music jam. That's it.
Kevin,
It's called
you look
Abuser.
So unprofessional when you say the jam session's over and then you go back with another jam. It looks very unprofessional. We just lost half of our listener base right now.
Oh, damn it.
Don't worry, I'll
I'm
get him
just
back right
fucking
here. Running up the hill. Is that your jam?
No, but we can end the podcast now. Thank you, everybody, for embracing the absurdity of existence with the UnPop brand. We wish you all a wonderful journey through this chaos of life. If you have any comments, concerns, subpoenas, or you want us to podcast live at your funeral, reach out to mysecretpoweris@gmail.com. Remember to check out Magnum Nopus, our brother/sister channel, and art for the podcast. Art for the podcast by FrankAce. Music by moi. Thank you. See you next week.
You say moi a lot. Who's moi?
It's me. It's Frank.
Oh, okay.